All right, let's talk about the dual-core cyborg. But here's the thing. We're not just looking at some machine. We're really diving into a walking, breathing, philosophical war. This thing isn't just built from metal and circuits. It's literally forged from a clash of two completely opposite ideas. And this quote, man, it just nails it. An ideology given flesh and steel. Think about that. The cyborg isn't really a single being. It's more like a living conflict, a literal battleground where two opposing wills are jammed into one body and they're just constantly fighting it out. So that's the big question, isn't it? How can a machine be a war? I mean, it sounds kind of impossible. But stick with me, because that's exactly what we're going to break down in this explainer. And it all starts with the two very different minds who kicked this whole thing off. Okay, Section 1, the two architects, a clash of ideologies given form. Yeah, to get the war, you've got to get the warriors who started it, right? So let's meet the two architects. These are the creators whose clashing beliefs literally became the blueprint for this thing. And this table just lays it all out, clear as day. On one side, you've got Dr. Aerys Thorne, a human physicist who's all about nihilism and destruction. And on the other side, Vath Khan, this incredibly powerful Kryptonian who's trying to run from a past he can't seem to shake. Total opposites. And really, this is the whole game right here. Thorne, he's all about cold, calculated human genius, weaponized for pure destruction. Vath Khan, though, is just raw primal power. We're talking biology as a weapon. It's the classic mind versus matter showdown, but this time it's about to get very, very literal. So how in the world did two forces this different ever come together? Well, this was no planned team-up. Not at all. Their fusion only happened because of one single, totally catastrophic event, a moment of pure chaos that cooked up the perfect storm. And that event has a name, the Event Horizon Protocol. Look, this was not some neat and tidy lab experiment. It was an absolute mess at an old nuclear facility. An uncontrolled reaction that spun up this energy matrix so bizarre and so unique that it let the impossible happen. So here's how it went down. Step 1. Thorne's legacy. His insane doomsday device, the quantum flux capacitor, just floods the whole area with its tech signature. Then, Step 2. Vath Khan's move. He blasts it with kryptonite energy trying to stop it. But instead of stopping it, that collision of total opposites creates this insane feedback loop. And that's the spark. That's what creates the cyborg. But here's the crazy part. That chaotic origin story, it's not just a story. It's literally the cyborg's anatomy. Its insides are a direct, physical map of that first crazy conflict. Yeah, see, the cyborg doesn't just have one power source. It has two. And each one has its own will. You got the Kryptonian heart. That's all Vath Khan. And then you have the nihilist's mind. Pure, distilled Dr. Thorne. It's like having two rival engines trying to drive the same car. Let's dig into that first core, the Kryptonian heart. This thing was actually formed from Vath Khan's own nuclear fuel when it slammed into his energy blast. They managed to harvest that reaction and stabilize it into a perpetual motion machine. So endless, self-sustaining energy. But get this, the irony here is just, wow. It ends up doing exactly what Thorne wanted to do with his own doomsday weapon. But instead of being Thorne's creation, it's born from the biology of his greatest enemy. Okay, now for the second core, the nihilist's mind. And this is just Thorne's original doomsday weapon, his quantum flux capacitor, but shrunk down. A device built for one single, horrific purpose, to radiate the eastern seaboard. Kill millions of people. And now, it's been repurposed. This ultimate weapon of mass destruction is now the controlled, beating heart of a single being. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The irony is off the charts. So you have to understand, these are not just batteries. Not even close. They're philosophical engines. Every single second of the cyborg's life is being fueled by this internal war. It's Kryptonian potential, smashing up against human nihilism, over and over again. And all of this brings us to the big finish. What this all means. The cyborg's true purpose in the story. It is the living, breathing, walking embodiment of Thorne's nihilistic philosophy, made terrifyingly real. And here is the really terrifying part. In a way, This whole thing is a victory for Dr. Thorne. It's exactly what the source material calls it, the ultimate technological fulfillment of his twisted principles. His whole deal was to prove that chaos and destruction win in the end, and this creature, it's his walking, talking proof. Let's put it simply, the cyborg is a physical copy of the nihilism Thorne preached. It embodies everything he stood for. But, and this is key, it's also a constant, walking reminder of Voth Khan's own dark past as a prophet of nihilism, the very thing he was trying so desperately to escape. For both of them, this war is completely inescapable. So, that leaves us with one last, kind of haunting question to chew on. If the cyborg really is a walking war, who's winning? Is it the cold, calculated nihilism taking away in its mind? Or is it the raw, primordial power beating in its heart? That's a tough one.